Hello, hello there. My name is Murray. I'm with my co-host Corey, and we are The Real Guys. This is Shine Radio, and this is The Real Show, with two E's. The music you just heard was Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival from 1969. What was that year like, Corey?
Very nice, very smooth, very calm, quite relaxing year.
Very relaxing year. And you can find that song in the soundtrack to Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. And that can only mean one thing. For the next 3 weeks, we'll be discussing films, TV series, and more based on and around video games. Is that interesting, Corey?
The lovely world of the crossover.
Yes,
lovely
we are. We're doing a crossover show with sort of another medium, which has become very cinematographic recently.
It has.
It gives us good reason to talk about it, Corey. We've got a packed show for you today for a special broadcast, and as always, I'm accompanied by my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Now, we've got a couple of pieces of news here recently for the video game, film, and TV market, for those of you that are interested in that. We've got Sonic 2, the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog film. It's coming out, announced for April 8th, 2022.
Yes, you're correct.
And we've had a couple of pieces of casting for the Last of Us TV show. Are you a fan of the Last of Us games?
I've not played them personally, but I've seen other people play them. I know the gist anyway.
Okay. Well, they've cast Mandalorian and Wonder Woman 1984 actor Pedro Pascal as Joel.
Yes, they have.
And they've cast Game of Thrones and his Dark Materials actress Bella Ramsey as Ellie.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that the one that Tom Holland's in? And I remember, no, that's Uncharted. That's the Uncharted film.
Yeah. Anyway, I like Pedro Pascal. I think he's great in The Mandalorian and Game of Thrones. And Bella Ramsey as well. She's great in Game of Thrones as well. Lyanna Mormont, she does really, really well. Amazing young actress.
Where we go then?
But most recently, what is the most recent sort of trailer to come out of the video game film franchises, Corey?
I mean, there can only be one thing you're alluding to here.
Yes, yeah, but what am I alluding to? That's the key.
You're alluding to the Tournament of the Ages.
Yes,
where realms collide. You're on about
realms collide, or maybe they won't. It's the Mortal Kombat trailer.
Yes.
Did you did watch the Red Band trailer, didn't you? This will be R-rated in America.
Yes, it will be.
It will be an 18 over here because Mortal Kombat, for those of you that don't know, is infamous for its fatalities, its finishing moves, where you can rip a man's spine out through his chest and pull a man's heart out through his chest and decapitate people.
I mean, even in the trailer, you see someone's arms get ripped off.
Yeah, people's arms are getting ripped off. People are getting stabbed in the head. People are getting their hearts ripped out. Everything's happening in the trailer. It's a long trailer. It's a couple of minutes, but it's a bit of a thrill ride. Potential spoilers, by the way, for people who want to watch Mortal Kombat in their own good time. This 2021 film. Potential spoilers. But do you want to do what we did last time and just rattle through things? I've got a list now. I've got a list of characters, and I've sort of put down what I think of each of them.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Now, first off, the protagonist of this film isn't an actual character from the game.
No, he's not.
No, but we'll go on to him. Let's first start off with a list of characters who have been confirmed from the video games. Now, there's a lot of Mortal Kombats out there. Mortal Kombat 1, the original 3 Mortal Kombats. Then there's Mortal Kombat 4, which is sort of a 3D thing. Most recently, Midway Studios sold Mortal Kombat to Warner Brothers, who then left it under the watchful eye of NetherRealm Studios, who were created to make Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah.
But actually, people from Midway, when Midway was sort of shut down and sold to Warner Brothers, people from Midway just basically made NetherRealm. Like NetherRealm is like a child studio of Midway.
Yeah.
Anyway, NetherRealm has made the last 3 Mortal Kombat games, 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah, I believe so.
And they've made a couple of Injustice games, which is like Mortal Kombat for DC heroes, basically.
Yeah.
And both of which are pretty good fighting games. I'm a bit of a fighting game fan, so.
Yeah, but I've not played much of the Injustice stuff, but I played my fair bit of Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Well, let's get into some characters that are confirmed. The first one is Jax Briggs, the robot-armed fighting guy for the Special Forces. Now, Ermac is nowhere to be seen in this trailer.
No.
And Ermac is infamously the one that does remove Jax's arms.
No. However, I did some research, and apparently, because in the trailer you do see his arms get ripped off, people are saying that the person who rips his arm off is Noob Saibot.
No, it's Sub-Zero, isn't it?
No, it's someone wearing all black, I believe.
It's Bihan. Bihan is the first Sub-Zero who is killed by Scorpion and becomes Noob Saibot.
It looks like a just ninja in all black, and I think people are saying...
I swear to you it's Sub-Zero.
Noob Saibot is definitely somewhat in the trailer somewhere.
Oh.
And that's...
I swear to you that is Sub-Zero, because Jax has human arms, by the way, and he goes into this building, and he has a shotgun, and he tries to fire the shotgun at Sub-Zero, but Sub-Zero, like, freezes the barrel, and, like, the shot's, like, it becomes all frozen.
Hmm.
And then Sub-Zero grabs his arms and, like, breaks his arms off with the power of his ice powers.
Yeah.
And then we get Sonya Blade informing this sort of new original insert character of the fact that this ninja had superhuman powers.
Mm.
And we have to defeat these ninjas in Mortal Kombat, which is a tournament of like champions of people with amazing abilities and amazing fighting skills have to come together and decide who is the best in Mortal Kombat. So there we go. It's basically sort of, I don't know whether it's similar to the 1995 Mortal Kombat plot, but maybe it is. It's been a long time since I've seen that film.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while.
So let's talk the elephant in the room then. Let's talk Cole Young is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. In one vein, well, no. When you have a property, when you have an IP for people in the industry, when you have an IP, I don't like when you have what are effectively original characters in that IP. When you have enough characters, I don't have a problem with introducing new characters, but don't make the new characters like the focus of your thing. It's like, I don't like it when there's a character who is unfamiliar with that world, so he has to be taught to be familiar with that world by people who are already familiar with that world. Like, you could have just made him Johnny Cage.
Yeah, that's the thing, is when I first saw the trailer, that's just kind of who I assumed it was.
Yeah.
It looks like him. And
he kind of does look like Johnny. They could have just called him Johnny Cage, and I'd be like, exactly. You know what, I'm fine with that.
And like, he's with Sonya at the start, and I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense, it's Johnny Cage. And then I realised, no, it's not. It's this other like MMA fighter character.
Yeah, he's just a guy called Cole Young. He's not even Johnny Cage.
Who has like dragon powers or something. He's got like a birthmark.
And Johnny Cage isn't even in this film.
No.
He's not even in this trailer. He might show up in the film, I don't know, but he
must be.
He's not even in this trailer. If they would have called him Johnny Cage, I would have been perfectly happy. They don't even have to make him a movie star. He can be a boxer or whatever it is, and just call him Johnny Cage. I would have been happy. You know, maybe he can wear sunglasses. Maybe he can shoot green stuff. I don't know. But he has this sort of tattoo on him of like a dragon. But then they go like it's a birthmark.
Yeah.
And then they go, when did he get that? And they go, oh, he had it from birth. I go, yes, that's what a birthmark means.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a dumb line.
Yeah.
That's what birthmark means when you have something from birth.
Yeah.
I have a birthmark. It's a little circle on my wrist. But
it's funny how
when someone looks at it and goes, when did you get that? I go, when I was born.
Yeah.
That's what birthmark means. Anyway, let's go on to Sub-Zero.
Yep.
Because he's the only one that sort of professes his name. He goes, I am Sub-Zero. He's the ice-powered ninja of the Lin Kuei ninja clan who wear blue. He's confirmed with Bihan. He's not Kuai Liang. He is the first Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
He's Bihan, who, spoilers, I've mentioned this before though, is killed by Scorpion and then becomes Noob Saibot.
Yeah.
So Noob Saibot may as well be in this film. That's what I think, at least.
Okay.
Probably around the end. He might show up at the end if Scorpion. That's Scorpion's whole thing. Scorpion's and Sub-Zero's vendetta is to kill each other.
Yes.
So let's go from Sonya Blade to Liu Kang. Liu Kang is in this trailer.
He is.
Looking pretty good. He's got his fire powers. He's got his fire dragon powers. He's often called the hero of Mortal Kombat. He's like the fighter of Earthrealm.
Yeah, especially in the games, he is normally
especially in the games. So is it just going to be this Cole Young guy, and Liu Kang's going to be like what, his buddy or something?
I think so. For now, at least, anyway.
I've got reservations about that.
Hmm.
But yes, and Liu Kang actually died in Mortal Kombat 9, but came back in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yes, he did. He was set on fire by Raiden, I believe.
He was lightninged by Raiden.
Yeah.
And then we have Hanzo Hazashi, Scorpion himself. He's the reanimated ninja of the Shiba Ryu clan who wear yellow. He was killed by Sub-Zero, and Sub-Zero also kills his family. That's probably, from what I can see in this trailer, that's probably going to be the same. That's not going to change.
Yeah, I think that's the
because we see Hanzo, the human Scorpion, fight some Lin Kuei ninjas. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. And he's in sort of his yellow Shiba Ryu sort of get up. And then Sub-Zero arrives, probably, takes him out, kicks his butt. Then he kills his family. But it's actually, in the games, it's actually revealed to be Quan Chi. Quan Chi's not even in this trailer.
Well, yeah, I don't even think he'll turn up for the film, to be honest.
No, he doesn't even turn up in the 1995 Mortal Kombat.
No.
I think, at least. Maybe he does, I don't know. I have this sort of vague memory of a live-action Quan Chi, and I've got no idea where it's from. I think it's from, like, those web series that Mortal Kombat sometimes has.
Yeah.
Anyway, Quan Chi, who I don't think is in this film, reanimates Scorpion. How are they going to explain Scorpion without explaining Quan Chi? Or maybe he's just referenced so you don't actually see it.
Yeah, probably.
And he's probably like the sequel villain. That might be cool.
Yeah, true.
I'd like that, actually. I'd like that very much.
I don't know if that's where I'll go with it, though.
Oh. You don't know what? You don't know it as well?
No, as in, like, I think I have an idea of how the sequel is going to turn out.
Fair enough. Then we have Kung Lao, who has the magical disc hat. He's still got the hat. The hat looks good. He looks straight. You know what? Kung Lao, actually, looks very, very accurate.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like he's straight out of Mortal Kombat 9, and I love that. I love when they can get the conversion process from game screen to movie screen. Very good.
Yeah.
I like that process. I like how, yes, this would work in a video game, but would it work in a film? Like, people say Gears of War would make a good film. Yes, it would. But I don't think people would like to go around in 100 tons of armor,
Yeah.
And huge, 50-ton rifles with chainsaws on them. I think Mortal Kombat, yes, it would work very well, but it's about doing it correctly and doing it right.
Yeah.
And not having like a Mortal Kombat Annihilation scenario where Shao Kahn turns into a giant 50-foot reptile dragon and then Raiden turns into a giant 50-foot reptile dragon.
Yeah.
Isn't that how that film ended?
I believe so. Yes.
Anyway, let's go on to Raiden. He doesn't talk much in this trailer, but I feel like he could be sort of... he could give the heroes an advantage with his lightning powers and his cool hat. And everyone's got very cool hats. Cool hats and his staff. He's still got his staff. He's still got his sort of white robes. He looks pretty good. I like the look of him.
Yeah.
What do you think of his sort of involvement in this? Because he doesn't appear much in the 1995 Mortal Kombat, but he looks pretty good, I'd say here.
He's going to have a main role in this film.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Also, do you think it's cool how they've sort of gone for basically unknowns?
Yeah.
For actors.
Yes.
Not somewhat unknowns, but like people who like you wouldn't really know at a glance.
Yeah.
I know the person playing Scorpion. I don't want to butcher his name, but I'll do my best. Hiroyuki Sanada. I probably have butchered his name. I'm sorry. Is a Japanese actor who's playing Scorpion. He's very sort of known for his theatrical roles in Japan and his sort of career in Asia. And the person that plays Shang Tsung as well, an actor called Chin Han, who was in quite a few things in the US.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, as for Cole Young and Sonya Blade and people like that, it's sort of they have gone for relatively unknowns, but I think that's good because you can build them up as like those characters.
Yeah, exactly.
You can build them up as those characters, so I like that. Then we go on to a few sort of you get a couple of glimpses of stuff in the trailer, don't you?
Yeah.
One of the people you get a glimpses of is Kano.
Yes.
And Kano is in this trailer not a villain.
No.
He seems to be a member of the gang. Like he has a feud with Sonya Blade throughout every single game.
Yes.
They want to murder each other. But in this one, they're sort of going around adventuring together. There is one shot of them fighting, and that's it. I don't think they're fighting anywhere. They're just fighting in a desert.
He'll turn. He'll turn.
You think he's gonna be? Yeah, he's gonna be a traitor. He's gonna betray them, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's a mercenary, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a Black Dragon. He's from the Black Dragon, who are the
exactly.
Sort of clan
so
of
someone will probably have money or something, and then it'll change.
Yeah.
He'll become like maybe not necessarily a henchman, but he'll become like a secondary sort of like we have to beat this person before we get to the final person sort of thing.
Yeah. He's gonna be either a traitor or some kind of hired bounty hunter who's gonna
exactly
turn tail and turn on the heroes. That might be alright. He has his laser eye, but he doesn't have his like metal eye plate that he has in the games.
Yeah.
But I think it might be like a Terminator situation, where maybe he gets beaten up real bad and you see he's like a cyborg.
Yeah, that's probably what we're going to go for.
Also, Cabal's going to be in this.
Yes.
But we haven't seen Cabal in the trailer.
No, again, it's one of those things where you see it for like a second. You see like his weapons. You see someone using his like...
His sort of hook blades.
And it's for a split second, but it's behind, I think. So you see basically the back of his head and his weapons.
Right, okay. Well,
it's the same with apparently Reptile.
Yes, I heard Reptile is in this as well.
Yes,
Reptile is in sort of the last few seconds. Spoilers. I think he's the one that Kano rips the heart from.
Well, yeah, everyone's assuming it's Reptile because it's literally a massive reptile. It's not like a ninja suit.
Everyone's assuming that it's Reptile. And that's why if you can kill anybody, you can probably kill Reptile and get away with it. And I think no one's going to be crying at home about Reptile.
Yeah, but also I don't know if you would show him dying in the trailer.
Yeah, true. Unless it's one of those things where Reptile is like a race. Like how Baraka is a Tarkatan and Tarkatan is a race.
Yes, Baraka, who also is not in this trailer.
Well, no, people are saying that he is in the trailer.
Oh, is he?
People are saying that he's that picture on that sort of painting.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know when they say, like, when they're explaining, they're like, Mortal Kombat has existed for centuries as a fighting tournament of champions, that kind of thing. And there's like a picture of like someone who's clearly dead on the floor and a person standing above them. I think the person standing above them is Baraka. I
would hope so. I quite like Baraka.
Yeah. Just because he doesn't have his arm blades. If he had his arm blades, everyone would be going, it's Baraka. But no, he looks like Baraka does. However, there is another Tarkatan in this film, or half Tarkatan. Yes. Because Melina does show up.
She is confirmed.
Yes. First off, where's Katana?
Or Jade.
Where's Katana and Jade? Well, to have Melina, you must also have Katana. So I'm going to assume Katana will be in this film.
Yes. I mean, probably, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Katana was in the 1995 version.
Yes.
And they brought Melina in for the sequel. So, anyway, I think Melina looks good. I like the sort of... She's very sort of Mortal Kombat 10. She has that sort of armor-ish, very shoulder pad heavy look. And I like that. She's still got her size. Of course, you can't get rid of them. People are complaining about her teeth, and I think, they look fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're not.
It's going to look a bit gimmicky if she opens her mouth and she's got a massive jaws. That's going to be a bit disproportionate.
That's what I mean. Saying that, it does then somewhat worry me that if Baraka is in this film, he's going to have the same mouth, and it might not look the same.
Well, no, I think Melina's mouth looks okay. Melina is only half Tarkatan.
Well, that's what I mean. So I'm hoping if Baraka is, I'm hoping they just go full on like.
Right,
massive.
they go full
Yeah.
They go full Baraka mouth.
Yeah.
Never go full Baraka mouth. But I think Melina's teeth look fine. I don't know why people are whinging about it.
Mm.
I think they just look like she's got pointed teeth, and that's how she's supposed to look.
Yeah.
And she does that thing where she sort of licks her sides, and that's cool. That's what she always does in the games.
Yeah.
Even though we only see it for a split second. Then we have we've mentioned Reptile already.
Yep.
Do you want to mention Shao Kahn? Because Shao Kahn's in this trailer.
Well, a statue is in this trailer.
A statue of Shao Kahn is in this trailer, so Shao Kahn does exist.
Well, he either does exist or he did exist.
He did exist, yeah. But Shao Kahn is the Emperor of Outworld, who normally is the one who oversees the second stage of the tournament after Shang Tsung has been defeated. Because Shang Tsung's like the first boss that you sort of fight. He's the guy you fight at the end of the first game, I think.
Yeah.
So, also, he looks exactly like he does in Mortal Kombat 11. I love that. The statue, at least. The statue looks so much like he does in Mortal Kombat 11. That he's got like the massive horns on his helmet. He's got the sort of the bigger armor, the big sort of booster armor. I like that.
Yeah.
He's holding his huge hammer. It's got a logo on it. He just looks so much like Shao Kahn. I popped for that in the trailer. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
And it's great as well because Shao Kahn's one of those people you could really build to. He can be like your Thanos of the Mortal Kombat.
That's the thing. I don't think they would do Quan Chi in the second film. I reckon it might be Shao Kahn in the second film.
Oh no, I'd want Shang Tsung in this film because you have to.
Yeah.
Then I'd want Quan Chi in the second film.
Yeah.
Then I'd want Shinnok. Maybe Shinnok for the third film.
Yeah.
Then Shao Kahn. Like Shao Kahn has to be. Even though I think Shinnok's probably a bigger boss than Shao Kahn is. But not a lot of people know about Shinnok. And then you can have like Onaga and those sort of like very classic Mortal Kombat villains.
I like how you're essentially just wanting like 6 films.
Yeah, I'm wanting more. Just make more films, more Mortal Kombat films. It's one of those things where it is so ripe for film and television, but nobody does it.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of doing, because of all the constraints and all the stuff you have to adhere to. But I'd absolutely love a Mortal Kombat cinematic universe in some way because I feel like it's ripe for it. Like you can have like a Special Forces film with Jax and Sonya and Kano, and then you can have like a ninja film with with Ermac and Sub-Zero and Scorpion and Tremor and Smoke and all those sort of people, you know. But yeah, we've mentioned Shao Kahn. Do you want to mention Shang Tsung? He has a couple of lines in this.
Shang Tsung has a couple of lines.
He looks pretty good. He looks like I don't know. He doesn't really look like a version of him from the game because the version of the game is sort of very old man.
It depends. I know Mortal Kombat 9 had 2 skins. One was old, one was young.
Yeah, he looks a bit like young. He looks a bit like young Shang Tsung.
I think Mortal Kombat 11 has a young version, and I think it looks very similar to that.
Yeah, possibly. Long time since I played Mortal Kombat 11. I think I played it when it first came out. I did the campaign.
You know, obviously Shang Tsung very famous for being able to essentially make himself look like.
Yeah,
anyone.
If he doesn't say your soul is mine, I'm gonna ask for a refund.
I mean, we already know Get Over Here is in the trailer.
Yeah, we have a Get Over Here. We have a finish him. Shang Tsung says it.
Yeah.
Shang Tsung has to point at someone and says, your soul is mine. And then he does the cool soul thing where he pulls your green soul up. He needs to say that. I'm hoping for your soul is mine. And Goro is in this trailer.
He is. He wasn't announced, and then he appeared.
No, then he shows up. He's bigger. He looks exactly like he does in Mortal Kombat 9. With the shoulder pad and everything, and the big the big body. He looks great. He's got 4 arms. He's a Shokan. Originally he was voiced by Frank Welker in the 1995 version, who most people know as classic Megatron.
Yeah.
But I think he looks good. I think he looks very good. Hopefully he doesn't speak as much as he did.
That's what I was going to say. I'm hoping he just doesn't talk.
No, he just roars and yells and he's a big guy and you have to defeat him. He's like the sub boss. It's like
exactly.
Halfway through the game you'd fight Goro. Or Goro would be the second to last guy that you'd fight.
Yeah.
And now it does at least confirm the Shokans are going to be in this. Maybe we'll get
Yeah.
Shiva. Maybe we'll get Kintaro. I'd like that.
Yeah, I like them too. I want, and this isn't going to happen. I think he was in one of the films. I want Motaro to come back.
You want Motaro? Oh, I'd like Motaro.
I love Motaro, man. He's so cool.
I'd like Motaro. Maybe we get a cameo from Motaro.
As long as he doesn't look like he did in the films, where he essentially just looks like a man with
no, he's a centaur, isn't he?
He is, but like his upper body just looked human. I kind of want him to look a little bit more, I guess, demonish than just a man with horns and a horse body. But he's great. He is. He's a centaur, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like Motaro. Motaro would be cool for it. Well, no, Goro is more recognisable.
He is. That's the thing.
But I think Motaro was actually first.
I think what is in game.
Motaro showed up earlier than Goro.
Yeah, he did. Motaro's like old school, like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Motaro is sort of old school. I think Goro sort of spawned out of the idea of Motaro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like Motaro. I'd like Shiva or Kintaro to show up.
Kintaro's cool.
Kintaro's like Tiger Goro.
Exactly. Both in Mortal Kombat 9 as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a reskin.
Exactly,
Goro.
pretty much.
And then you got Kintaro, which is what I love about Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is just constant reskinning.
In fact, Kintaro is in Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, he is. I think.
I've just googled it. Just on recovery.
Mortal Kombat is constant reskinning. Like you've got yellow ninja, blue ninja, grey ninja, green ninja, red ninja, purple ninja, yellow ninja. There's not. I think there's a white. I think there's like white. There's a black ninja. I know that's through Noob Saibot.
Yes.
Brown ninja is.
There's a grey one.
I think the white ninja is a guy called Chrome or something.
Yeah. Well, there's a grey one which is Smoke.
Grey one is Smoke. I know. Green one is Reptile.
Yeah.
Red one is Ermac.
Yeah.
Blue is obviously Sub-Zero. Yellow is obviously Scorpion. There's a light blue ninja who's called Hydro, who is like water.
Yeah.
And then there's robots, which is Sector, Cyrax, and Triborg and all that.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we'll get that? I don't think we will. I think that's something they'll save for the sequel.
I don't know. I reckon you might see Sector and Cyrax before their robots.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That's what they did in Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Goro actually was after Kintaro. Just googled that as well.
Really?
Goro was Mortal Kombat 4, I think. Or was he in the first one? Actually, he might have been in the first one.
I don't think he was. I think Motaro was in the first one.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I think it was Motaro, Kintaro, Goro.
I haven't played the originals in ages.
No. The last original I played was Mortal Kombat 3, I think.
I think that's the one we had.
Which was a combination of 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So it had all the characters in it. Like Jade, who isn't in this trailer.
No.
Even though it won't be hard. But, yeah, no Jade. Anyway, let's go on to what you think this film is going to be, would you say? Well, I know I say that, but I don't think they're going to bother with the whole Outworld thing, and I'm really scared about that.
No.
Do you know why I don't think they'll bother with the whole Outworld thing?
Why not?
Because one, it might be hard to explain.
Yeah.
And two, they make it out like everybody from in Mortal Kombat is from Earth.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to explain that? They say, "Oh, it's Earth's mightiest champions," whatever they say,
Yeah.
But how are you going to explain Outworld? Because Outworld is always something that's existed in Mortal Kombat, and if you don't do Outworld, then it's not. Yeah, I know. I say it's not as believable, but Outworld is inherently not believable.
Yeah.
I just want them to do it correctly, and I want them to do Outworld in some way. Just say, hey, there's this other dimension where all these weird monsters exist. Let's go over there and fight them in this tournament. Cool? Alright, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I don't know, I'm scared they weren't going to do Outworld, but I think they might. Because you can't do Shao Kahn and not do Outworld.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll expand on it more in the second films or something.
Yeah. And it's pretty soon, as far as I can tell. I know it's
April?
Yeah, it's April 16th.
Yeah.
So, I know this film was sort of sat in development hell for a while. They wanted to redo Mortal Kombat ever since Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which completely flopped.
Mm.
There was a couple of sort of short films and live action series like Mortal Kombat Rebirth, and there was another one that existed that is likewise named as well. But yeah, I think it was a pretty solid trailer. If you want to get sold on the Mortal Kombat sort of mythos, that trailer would be a good thing to start with.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that our clearly overreaching knowledge of Mortal Kombat may be intimidating to some.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where they reward you for knowing, but if you don't know, then it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you know about that sort of thing, it's all right. But it's clearly that's who they'd market to, people who sort of know what Mortal Kombat is already and know the sort of basics of the characters and can get into it pretty easily. Which I could, and I think it's past time that they do a Mortal Kombat that is properly rated and shows exactly what it has to show.
Yeah.
And has cool action, and it does have cool action. Like that bit where Scorpion is fighting Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero like blocks the spear and uses sort of and freezes the blood, then stabs him with a knife made of the frozen blood. That's cool.
Yeah.
Even though it's a bit of a Scarlet move, Scarlet isn't going to be in this film.
She won't.
But I'd like sort of like a post-credit scene that has Shao Kahn or Quan Chi in it or something.
Yeah.
And says, oh, you may have beaten me in Mortal Kombat, but we'll see. Because Mortal Kombat is the most boring part about Mortal Kombat is the tournaments.
Yeah.
It's exciting whenever they do something that isn't the tournament. Like whenever Shao Kahn tries to invade Earth, or whenever Shinnok tries to invade Earth. Or when Shinnok makes a zombie army of all the heroes. That's more exciting than just a tournament. I feel like that's the most boring part of Mortal Kombat, but that is the essence of the game.
Well, yeah, essentially.
The essence of the game is you choosing a fighter and playing through the tournament and beating the boss, who is Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn or whoever, and then winning. And then you get your little character ending, and then you just play someone else, and you play someone else and do the entire thing again. And yeah, that is it's very arcadey, but it works. And recently, especially when NetherRealm took over, it became more of a structured story where they wouldn't do the tournament, where they sort of branch out into more cinematic storytelling, let's call it.
Yeah.
So that is our sort of breakdown for the Mortal Kombat trailer, April 16th, 2021. And it's coming to HBO Max, a streaming service, and to theatres. So.
Yes, I believe they're in talks with UK streaming services as well.
Are there?
Yes, because obviously we can't get HBO Max in the UK.
Agreed.
I think Amazon Prime is the one people are saying it's going to be on, because I think the original Mortal Kombat movie is on there.
All right, okay. That sounds good. I'm watching Amazon Prime.
But yeah, apparently Odeon as well is going to be the main one that has it.
Oh, nice. Okay. But there's been a lot of video game movies out there, Corey.
Yes.
And we've decided to bring you our top 5 favourites. Isn't that right, Corey? Do you have your top 5 with you?
I do. They're not necessarily in an order, because I ain't gonna lie. Most video game films aren't the greatest.
No, but actually mine are in an order.
So I just have, here's 5 films I would somewhat recommend to watch for different reasons.
Okay. Well, also, I do believe it's your weekly rec.
Yes, it is.
Okay, have you selected one?
Yes.
Good. Well, we'll hear that after these top 5. So, who wants to go first? Shall I go first or you go first?
Yeah, you can go first, why not?
Well, this won't be surprising, but my number 5 is Mortal Kombat 1995.
Okay.
It is. It's as much as we've explained, it's sort of the first crack at doing a cinematic Mortal Kombat film. It's got Scorpion, it's got Sub-Zero, it's got Johnny Cage, it's got all the characters you like. it's not got Cole Young or any weird original insert. It is just literally all the characters from the game. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's all the characters from the game. Shang Tsung is the villain. Goro's in it. It's just good old popcorn chomping action film, and I like that. It takes you to Outworld. There's Raiden. There's Liu Kang and Katana, and I think it's cool for what it's worth. Yes, I don't think it understands the Mortal Kombat mythos very well, and sometimes it can be a bit of 90s cheese.
Yeah.
But who doesn't like a bit of 90s cheese? So that's my number 5, Mortal Kombat 1995.
Okay. Well, like I said, I mentioned mine aren't in actually a particular order. I did actually have Mortal Kombat down. Same one as yours. Similar reasons. Main reason why I thought I'd recommend it today was just because I thought, okay, you know what? Go back and watch the 95 version, and then you can go back and not go back. Even you can watch the 2021 version. Just so you can see. Because I feel like the 1995 one was okay, but I feel like it's great either. And I have a feeling this one's going to be, fingers crossed, somewhat decent. Plus, you can see how far things have gone film-wise. But I just think it'd be a good idea to go back and watch 95 one, and you can go back and watch this one, and then I think it'll make it a bit better anyway. So that's why I had it on there.
All right. Do you want to add anything?
I think you pretty much covered it, to be honest. It's
nice.
good. It's fun. It's silly, and it's a bit.
Yeah, it is. It is a bit. Well, I think they took the property and they did whatever they could with it.
Yeah, exactly.
For the constraints of having like. Also, video games are long affairs.
Yeah.
And you have to compress those long affairs into like a 2-hour movie at best.
Yeah.
So that they're held down to time constraints of how long people can sit in a theatre for. Whereas a video game, you can be there for days.
True.
Anyway, my number 4 film is it's Hitman Agent 47 from 2015.
Okay.
Yes, you may have heard that there's been a couple of cinematic outings of the Hitman, and this one is no different. It replaces Timothy Oliphant's sort of Hitman with Rupert Friend as Agent 47, with Zachary Quinto and Kieran Hines as your villains, and it's about the Hitman Agent 47 protecting this girl who is pursued by some evil scientists, and I think it's an interesting take on the Hitman films.
Yeah.
It's more sort of action shoot 'em up, which is fine. I know they can't really do a sort of stealth sneaky Hitman film, even though as much as I'd love that. I think it does very well of adapting the Hitman universe and who exactly Agent 47 is or who he isn't.
Yeah.
It didn't do that bad. It grossed about 82 million. It definitely made its money back. So I like that. It did change sort of Agent 47's origins. He wasn't created by Dr. Ortmeyer. I think they make necessary changes for a cinematic endeavor for Agent 47. I know that some people would probably do better with the property. I'm not sure how exactly IO Interactive felt about this, but I know it didn't do very well. In terms of critics, I don't think it went well in terms of reception, but I know it was getting 3 out of 10s and 20s out of 100 and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think it has its good points. And in terms of video game films, don't usually work like you just said that most video game films aren't really critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
So take from that what you will.
Yeah.
But I think Hitman Agent 47 gives it a good try. I don't think it is a hit, but it isn't a Hitman. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it isn't a Hitman. But it does what it can.
Yeah.
And that's commendable, I'd say. So that is my number 4, Hitman Agent 47. Your turn.
I'm going to go for a bit more of an obscure one.
All right.
I'm going for House of the Dead.
Okay. And what is that sort of based on?
It's based on the arcade game.
Oh, right, yeah.
The arcade, like, you get a plastic gun, fire it at a screen. That sort of thing. Like Time Crisis, essentially. But zombies.
Oh, I like Time Crisis.
Yeah, exactly. It's that sort of thing. Now the film is again awful. it's awful. But the one thing it does is it embraces the game as much as it could. It's literally basically people are on an island surrounded by zombies, and then this like tactical weapons expert turns up. And then there's like a really good, somewhat okay sequence where they use video game footage and cut it into the film. So at least it embraces the fact that this is a film that is based around a game. It doesn't try to be like, okay, we're this, we're this actual thing. It goes, no, this is a game. We're just making it into a film. Again, the film's not great, but I like the fact that it actually acknowledges the fact that it's a video game franchise. So yeah, my number 4 is House of the Dead from 2007, I believe.
Yeah. So you think that it's a decent adaptation?
It's okay. There's not much you can do with like House of the Dead or even like Time Crisis. Anyway, it kind of has to be just a zombie sort of shooting survival thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's not great, but it's all right, I guess. As far as video game films go, it's okay.
All right, fair enough. Do you want to rating these, or would you rather just list them off?
I mean, most of these are gonna be quite low anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we need to bother doing.
No.
Fair enough. Well, coming to my number 3, it is Need for Speed 2014.
Okay, I also had this one down.
Okay, good. Do you have it in your number 3?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Based on the driving game by EA,
yes.
Need for Speed is basically a Fast and Furious ripoff.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it needed to be. I didn't think it needed to be anything else. Like, you've got a game about fast cars. You need to make a film about fast cars. What is the biggest premier franchise about films of fast cars? Fast and Furious. Just make a Fast and Furious film.
Exactly, pretty much, yeah.
So that's what it needed to be. That's what it had to be, and that's what, thankfully, it is. So I don't think it's a failure in that way.
Well, no, it's literally, it's essentially, yeah, it's just fact. It's this guy who I haven't seen this film in ages and ages. I remember it just ends in a race. I think it's this guy who's just trying to beat someone as well. I can't remember what it is. I think there's some like love romance in there as well, because of course there is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, again, it wasn't bad. I remember watching it somewhat when it came out. I think when it came out on DVDs when I watched it.
The cast is pretty decent.
Well, exactly, yeah.
You've got Aaron Paul, fresh off Breaking Bad. You've got Rami Malek, Michael Keaton, Dominic Cooper. You've got a good list of names.
Yeah. I mean,
Dakota Johnson as well shows up. So yeah, I think
it was a good try.
I think it's probably I don't know whether it's the best on my list, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I'd say it's up there. I mean, again, it's not great, but I'd say it's up there.
No, it's not great, but at least it's like passable as a film.
Yeah. Yeah,
We're
exactly.
looking at things that are passable as films based on video games.
Yeah.
And I'd say that indeed it is passable. So so can you add anything since it's on your number 3 as well?
I mean, again, yeah, it is just a not Need for Speed, a Fast and Furious ripoff. I mean, if you like sort of racing and like that, so I mean, that's kind of why I watched it, because I'm somewhat tolerable of Fast and the Furious. It's like, okay, I like the games, I'll give it a watch. Saying that, if it was called something else, and you didn't, so if it was called like generic racing name, and I watched it, I don't know if I would have gone, oh, it's Need for Speed.
Right. Okay.
Because it doesn't really lend itself into the game as such. It is just a racing
Should
film.
that be something that we're looking at? Like,
oh,
if you watch this film and it wasn't called the title of the video game, would you know that it's the video game film?
I wouldn't have. I feel like it needed to like lean into more of like, because I think Need for Speed, I think like street cars customization, neon lights underneath and all that, the kind of old school. Saying that, last time I played Need for Speed was years ago, but that's what I think.
Right.
I think like street racing, like not sports cars.
With that logic, I'd say that Hitman, Agent 47, and Mortal Kombat are pretty good.
Yes, by that logic, yes.
With
the
logic
they are.
With the logic that we're using, if it was called something else, would you still know it was the video game film? Yes, I would.
Yeah.
I'd look at Mortal Kombat, I'd see Sub-Zero, I'd see Scorpion, I'd see Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade and Kano, who looks like Kano, and you think, oh, it's clearly a Mortal Kombat film.
Yeah.
If it was called like Fighty Ninja Man, I'd still know what it was.
Yeah.
Even Hitman Agent 47, the iconography of the bald man in the black suit with a red tie, Agent 47.
Yeah.
You're gonna know exactly who he is. If it was called Bald Man Strangles People in a Bathroom, you'd still know what it was.
Exactly.
So, but with Need for Speed, yeah, if it was called something else, you wouldn't really associate it with the game, would you? It'd just be
I wouldn't.
Generic car film.
Yeah.
Welcome to the queue, says Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
But my number 2 is these two are probably the most recent films as well.
Okay.
Because I think video game films have gotten better.
Yes.
Like, we're not looking at Mario and Luigi anymore.
No.
That the Mario film ever was called Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
We're not looking at that anymore. We're looking at things that have moved on, and especially I think video game films have gotten better. Like, look at the trailer for Mortal Kombat 2021. It has gotten better. So with this, these two are more recent.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is from 2018. It is Tomb Raider.
Okay.
So I'm sure you've probably discounted the Tomb Raider films.
They're not on my list. However,
okay.
It's not because I don't like them. I've just picked other stuff for other reasons.
Okay. Well, Tomb Raider 2018 is it's not so. I think it's a reboot of previous Tomb Raider films that they made.
Yeah, I think so.
It's got Alicia Vikander, who is great. I'm a big fan of hers. It's got Hannah John Carmen, who's really hot right now and is in loads of stuff. I think it does well at doing the modern take on Tomb Raider. Like, Tomb Raider back in the day was, a woman in very short shorts with triangle breasts, running around and doing flips at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But the more recent versions of Tomb Raider has just been like, don't bleed out to death. Like, you've hit yourself on a twig, don't bleed out. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of craft bows and arrows and learn how to make a fire and learn how to, kill a sheep or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot more about survival than it is about running and gunning, which is what the older games used to be about.
Yeah.
And it sort of reflected this. It's gone from, especially its 2018 version, it's gone from that running and gunning action style to more of a, I don't want to say more of an intimate affair, but it really is more of an intimate affair of following this girl and the fact that her family is she's a bit of a black sheep in her family, and she doesn't want the riches, and she doesn't want the fame of the Croft name. She wants to pursue her own thing, pursue adventure and the world and that sort of thing. So yeah, I really like that, and I like it's sort of taken the modern take of the games and it's put it into a film.
Yeah.
The cast isn't half bad. As I said, Alicia Vikander, Dominic West, who I'm a big fan of, Derek Jacobi, who's good as well. As I mentioned, Hannah John Carmen shows up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm quite a fan. Nick Frost as well makes a pretty cool cameo. And we're fans of Nick Frost and Simon Pegg on this show. So.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, that is my number 2, Tomb Raider 2018. And also, if I had to recommend you watch anything on this list, watch that one.
Okay.
Watch Tomb Raider in 2018.
Okay.
What is your number 2?
Interesting choice. Okay, so I've picked a film. Now you may be thinking, I don't know, you may be thinking why I've done this. I've picked a film that I absolutely despise.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because I want people to watch it to know how bad this film is, because this could generally have potential if they did it correctly. I have gone with the 2010 Prince of Persia.
Right, okay.
The film is awful.
Yes, indeed.
It's bad. However, I think the game Prince of Persia has very good potential of being an actually somewhat decent film if they did it correctly.
I love the game Prince of Persia. It's great.
Exactly. I want people to watch it so they can go, that film was bad, but they need to do it correctly, because it's. I would if they came out. Obviously, we have like Uncharted. You mentioned Tomb Raider. Prince of Persia is kind of similar. But if they came out saying, I'm making a Prince of Persia film, that is one I would generally be somewhat hyped for. Like, because I feel like they had potential and it was just bad. And it was 11 years ago, which isn't that far. And even at that time, they could have done something decent. But yeah, the film itself isn't great. It's Sands of Time, which is even that you could do something time based, and it's great. But they didn't even do that. The guy has a dagger that alters time. That's what happens in the film, and that's essentially it. I will give it props for the fact that the film looks like what Prince of Persia would probably look like, and the guy playing the prince itself, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, decent casting. People know who he is. It's just the film itself was just bad. So I want people to watch it, especially if you're a fan of Prince of Persia film, to know how bad it is, so that hopefully they can make a new one and make it right. So yeah, that's my number 2. Most of my films aren't necessarily ranked by quality; they're just ranked by either how bad they are, or I think Need for Speed's probably been my best one on the list, because my number one isn't great either.
Right. Well, okay. Well, here's my thing. I think I've done the opposite to you.
Yeah.
Because my number 1 is something that I think is probably the best adaptation you could ever do.
Yeah.
Now, also, it's of a game that I guarantee most of our listeners won't even have heard of.
Okay, yeah, so it's completely different to my number 1.
Yeah, but of something that I would implore people to check out.
Okay.
Right, you've probably heard of the game. It was a little indie startup game that sort of got a bit of a cult following.
Okay.
Have you heard of Papers, Please?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I believe so. Yeah.
There was a short film in 2018 called Papers, Please. It's about 10 minutes long, and I think it's genuinely the best adaptation of a video game property for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Because let me explain to our listeners here on Time Radio the basis of Papers, Please. It's simply you play an immigration officer in a communist-controlled Eastern European country.
Yes.
And it is your job to approve or deny entrance to your country. So people will come along, different people will come along, give you their documents. You have to search their documents, search their passports, search their work permits, search their papers, and you have to check for discrepancies. If you find a discrepancy, you can deny them, you can tell them no, they must leave. But you only get paid for letting people through. Yeah. So you have to sort of have your conscience and sort of wage if you want to let people through or not. And You get emotional trouble. You get people wanting a husband will get through, but his wife will have a discrepancy, and you have to maybe deny her, but she needs to be with her husband. There are sort of terrorist attacks by these rebel cells who come after you, and you have to deal with that. You're given like a gun to defend the sort of outpost that you work at, and you have to make enough money for your family at the end of the day to get food and heat and water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and Papers, Please does a great job of those first couple aspects. They're doing a fantastic job of simply the border control officer looking at the papers and stamping things down and accepting or denying people into the country. And that's great. And the crux comes at the end of the film, where, spoilers, where you find out that one of the people you've let through was actually had the correct document, but actually was a terrorist fighter and sort of blows up the base at the end.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. I think that obviously not the act of terrorism on an Eastern European country, but the adaptation of the mechanics of the game into the look and the feel of the short film. So,
okay,
that is my number one. It is Papers, Please from 2018, and it's subtitled, but they don't speak English just for the heck of it. They do speak sort of a Russian-Ukrainian sort of dialect, I suppose. Eastern European, like where the country of it's I forget the name of the fake country. It's Ostotska, I think the name is.
Yes, it is.
It's Ostotska, yeah. You play a border guard in Ostotska, and you have to accept or deny people through to your country. And I like that the mechanics of the game fit very well to the style and the feeling of the short film.
Yeah.
So that is my number one.
Okay. Now this is an interesting one. So I've done something. My number one, funny enough, I'll mention this now. My number one is actually also my recommendation for the week.
Okay. You're going to do a 2-for-1, are you?
Exactly.
A number one and a weekly rec. All right, well, give it to us.
So this one does have a rating as well. I've got a rating for us.
Yes, we are. We have to rate it. Our weekly recs are real ratings. So.
It's available on Prime.
Right.
I believe, so you can go and watch it yourself. If you have Prime. If not, get a trial. Get Prime. Prime was my recommended, streaming service. So of course it has this great film, but it came out in 1994. Mm-hmm. Similar to Mortal Kombat in a way. I am of course talking about the Street Fighter movie.
Oh, no, Corey. You're not going to hit me with Street Fighter. Of course.
Which, as you can tell by Murray's voice, is a fantastic movie.
Yes.
It's a A-star. It's I would say it's the best example of why everyone says game movies are awful.
Yes.
It's the Street Fighter movie. That's the pinnacle of really bad video game film. It's Street Fighter movie.
But is it bad though? Is it bad?
This is the thing. It's first off, casting wise, it's great. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia are in this.
Yes, they are, and they do great. I think Raul Julia was only in it because his kids liked Street Fighter.
That I believe that's true. Raul's playing M. Bison. Jean-Claude Van Damme is of course playing Guile, because of course he is.
Yeah.
So that's also great. It's very, very cheesy, very comical.
It's full of 90s cheese. It's full of quotable, memeable lines. It's great. It's so bad it's good.
This is the thing, because I used to watch this all the time. We had this back on VHS, funny enough, and I used to watch it all the time. And I was an okay fan of Street Fighter. We had Street Fighter 2, I believe. So I knew everyone who was in it. You've got Chun-Li, you've got, as we mentioned, Bison and Guile. Vega's in the film. Kami's in it. Ken, obviously, Ryu's in it. Zangief's in it. You have all the normal people you would assume to see in a Street Fighter movie. Again, like Mortal Kombat, they haven't made some, new person Ryu and
Yeah,
Ken.
yeah, exactly. They haven't made new person. They stick to the characters in the game,
Exactly.
and that is great. You don't suddenly have a guy called Johnson Smith who
Yeah.
has to be shown by Chun-Li how Street Fighter works, because you have all the characters, you know how Street Fighter works, and you can just get in there and have a good story. I think it is the essence of so bad it's good.
Exactly.
Everyone's wearing these cheesy costumes, saying these cheesy lines with the sort of really bad SFX. It looks so bad, and it's so full of tack and cheese that I think it just becomes amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just weird, and it's bad, but it's great at the same time.
It is very very strange, but it's a good kind of strange.
Yeah.
So what is your real rating then?
I mean, as much as I would recommend people watching it, and as much as if I was asked to watch a video game film, I would pick Street Fighter. It's probably gonna have to be a 4.5 out of 10.
Right. Okay.
It's still not.
I don't think it could get past the 5 mark.
No, I think 5's the highest I could probably ever give it.
Yeah, 4.5. Do you say?
Yeah, I think I fluctuate between 4 and 5, so I'll go in the middle.
Right, 4.5 then. 4.5 for Street Fighter 1994.
Mm.
Only 1 year before Mortal Kombat.
Exactly, it's trendsetter.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. Exactly. And so that concludes our top 5 video game film. Well, I had sort of a top 5. You had more of a 5 that you're okay with.
Yeah, essentially.
So go out there, watch Tomb Raider, watch Street Fighter. Please go and watch Street Fighter. Watch Papers, Please. We've got a nice little bundle of stuff for our listeners to go out and view. But to round off today, we will be listening to Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz in 2005, which also features in the soundtrack to GTA 5. So, there you go. That's the song we'll be leaving you with today. Bye, folks.
Goodbye.